Friday starter spot is TBD. The Reds have gotten a 6-man rotation and held to Luis Castillo and Tyler Mahle.
I don't know why my lighting is a little weird. Very weird. Oh, there we go. But what's up, guys? I thought I would do a live talking about the Braves trade deadline and the trade deadline as a whole, because there was a lot of action and a lot of blockbuster and some surprising things. But we're 3.5 back heading into the massive Mets series, 5-gamer, including a doubleheader, which I wish all of those were in the at night, because for whatever reason, even though we have 17 day game wins, it's been a struggle for us of late in series finales for whatever reason. But you got your class of pitching, Carlos Carrasco and Kyle Wright tomorrow. Jacob deGrom will probably start Sunday, and that slots Spencer Strider versus Jacob deGrom. Get your popcorn. And the Braves have struggled a lot in the day games about adding on runs and getting the runs. The leadoff double is not getting the productive outs and things of that nature. That is going to be a huge factor in this series coming up, because I think runs are going to be at a premium. If we get a blowout game in this series, I will be surprised, but I hope it's obviously in the Braves' favor. And I really would like to see, like everybody, see Ronald Acuna Jr. bust out, but you could just tell he's searching and trying to find things. What's up, Hudson? And I know people keep suggesting, should we move Ronald down in the order? I don't know. I don't know if that helps take the pressure off. Ronald is a special talent, and he's still walking. He's still stealing bases. It's just they're not the power, the extra base hit thing that's not there, because he's falling off on fastballs instead of staying through them. I'm not a hitting expert, but that's what I see. And I don't know how exactly you fix that, but with pitchers completely coming in on him at basically every at-bat to start, you got to know. I know Ronald knows that. I just don't know how exactly to make it click. Maybe he needs to talk to Chipper Jones like Austin Riley did or something, because we all know that he really hasn't struggled in his career, and coming off a bad injury, the ACL, all this stuff. I am not going to be critical of Ronald Acuna Jr. because he is still a presence in our lineup. It just stinks to watch him struggle, because you can see it on his face. He wants to kill the ball so bad, and it's just not working right now. So I don't know if moving him from the top of the lineup is a thing, but maybe. I don't think so, given the way our lineup is. I mean, Dansby's been very, very solid up top. I wouldn't think you would put what's up, just some guy. I don't think you would put Michael Harris up there, because he strikes out a lot early. So I think the only option, if you were going to move Ronald, would be Dansby Swanson into the leadoff spot, and probably I would say Olsen behind Riley right now, just because of how hot Riley is. Just those are my opinions on the lineup. I really liked seeing Robbie Grossman crush a 99-mile-an-hour fastball off the bricks today. I think he's really going to be a nice piece for us. And obviously we didn't give up too much. Excuse me. Actually, a player that I'd never heard of Florida Gulf Coast. Yeah, Austin just needs players in front of him. Yeah, he definitely does. But if you put Dansby 1, Ronald 2, Austin 3, Austin 3, Olsen 4, yeah, that, and then Eddie or Grossman 5 maybe, or Darno, depending on if he's in the lineup. Hopefully his stomach bug is fine. But I don't know if I don't know if this is a necessary knee-jerk thing if we do move Ronald, because obviously Brian Jordan has been suggesting it. And my playoff rotation right now: Freed, Wright, Morton, Strider. And I mean, I think it also depends on when you're at the end of the year, who's hot and who's not. But I honestly would be confident in anybody, probably except Ian Anderson right now, even though I'm really excited what he was able to do. What he was able to do against the Diamondbacks. Yeah, I know it was against the Diamondbacks, but I think his mindset of just screw it, I'm going to throw the ball, that's the mindset sometimes you need to have in any situation. And I think picking at corners and things of that nature, that doesn't help you attacking and just being aggressive. And I think you could turn that to Ronald as well. Just keep attacking. He's still hitting the ball hard on the ground. I know he's popping up a lot, but being aggressive might help him just to stop thinking about his shoulder dipping and things of that nature. I don't know. Hitting is the hardest thing to do. I just want to watch Ronald get out of it because he's one of the most exciting players and still a presence in our lineup. No matter if he's hitting or not, it's just better when he is hitting. But yeah, I mean, the series against the Mets is insane, and 5 games is a lot, and their pitching staff is really, really good. Cookie Carrasco, you've got to get him in the first 2 innings because you might not if you don't. And I think we know what we are capable of, and they know what they're capable of. I am kind of surprised that they didn't do more. I'm really happy they didn't do more. Daniel Vogelbach, Tyler Naquin. Obviously, Daniel Vogelbach hit a grand slam today and has been a pretty good well, I mean, it's a 5-game series, so I would take 3 out of 5. We have 4 out of 5. I'll be really happy. But I would hope we just take it 1 game at a time, see what happens. But I thought that the Mets would do more. Michael Gibbons had a rough Mets debut today. Kind of let the Nationals back in it. 9-5. But I like the Michael Gibbons ad for them. Daniel Vogelbach, Tyler Naquin. I really thought they would do more. Darren Ruff is a nice little platoon DH piece because they have struggled mightily at DH, excuse me. But I like our lineup as a whole. I need Ozuna to not look like he's swinging at the invisible baseball. And last night he looked okay. but I need Ozuna. It's kind of the bottom tier of the lineup. Needs to kind of pick it up. And Eddie Rosario having 5 RBIs, 3 hits last night, that helps. I wonder if I could block these weird comments or but yeah, I mean, the lineup is kind of top heavy right now, and Dansby's slowed it down a bit with the extra base hits and things, but you're obviously not going to stay that hot, and Zach Wheeler is a tough customer, and I'm really liking the at-bats that Orlando Arcia is putting up, and I actually really am happy that I'm sure they looked at second base, but I'm really happy that they didn't. There we go. A lot of weird comments. Sorry, guys. Orlando Arcia has been nice, and I hope Michael Harris's foot is okay. Yeah, I hope Ozuna again. I think Ozuna has been a little too passive. Thank you for blocking that. Yeah, he's just letting too many pitches go by, especially like fastballs right down the middle. And that's the thing. I'm mad when we don't make pitchers work, but then I'm also mad when we swing at the first pitch and we get out. So it's kind of annoying because how hard hitting is, how annoyed you can get for multiple things, and it's just weird. But in this Mets series, we definitely have to take advantage of every scoring opportunity because I believe it's going to be few and far between every game, especially I believe we see Max Scherzer at some point too. We've seen Scherzer a lot. We either get him or he gets us. And the last time we saw him, he was probably the best I've ever seen. So we'll see how that goes. The bullpen is fine. Yeah, our pitchers didn't really give their best foot forward, so to speak, in the last series at home against the Mets. But they kept us in the ball game. It just we just couldn't get anything rolling, and that's baseball. But I think our bullpen, the addition of Raisel Iglesias, although a very, very surprising one, a very, very happy one in that gives you many, many, many different options in terms of 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or if you need him to be a bridge, he can be a bridge. Yeah, he struggled a little bit with the Angels, but the ability to only give up Jesse Chavez, even though I hate giving up Jesse Chavez because he was such a Swiss Army knife being under control through 2025 and an option for 2026. I don't think you can go wrong with that, especially with Kenley Jansen likely being a rental. I think that might have been my favorite trade. And, of course, adding Jake Odorizzi for Will Smith was good for my heart and good for our hearts because Will always makes it interesting. And he welcomed himself to the Astros in a strong light, gave up a homer to Xander Bogaerts. Luckily, it was 6-0 Houston at that point for them. Yeah, getting Jake Odorizzi for just Will Smith, given the fact that we were probably just going to let Will go with Kirby Yates on the horizon, and he pitched another clean inning today. 6 innings, 9 Ks, 1 earned. 2 walks. So really, really, really good stuff there. In the doubleheader, yes, I think it's Max and then Jake Odorizzi. I really like Jake, and obviously he's coming off a strong start. I believe against the Mariners, seven innings. Excuse me, 2 hits, shutout ball. So that would be really nice. Welcome to Atlanta. Beat the Mets. That would be the perfect welcome. Jake struggled early on this year, but has turned it around super nicely. 4-3 with 375. And I do really appreciate that Alex Anthopoulos said that Spencer Strider is going to be a starter. We're not going to mess with his rhythm, which he was some kind of nasty last night against the Phillies. And usually it's tough back-to-back, but not for Mr. Mustache tonight. So that or last night. So that is epically awesome. And getting Eddie Adrianza back, he knows the best part about that is he knows his role, he knows the Braves, he knows how we operate, and we're pretty set in our lineup and such, but you got to be ready, just like Robbie Grossman was today, smoking a double off a tough lefty. I'm sorry, righty with Sir Anthony Dominguez. That was nice to see. I thought he would bridge on his first at bat. That would have been nice, but yeah, Adrianza is a nice piece because he knows his role and he's not going to not be ready, so to speak, and it didn't cost us a lot. I hope Trey Harris gets a chance with the Nationals, given that he didn't have a lot of consistent playing time at Double-A Mississippi, so that is very, very, very quality trade. Yes, Adrianza struggled this year with a myriad of injuries and probably his worst year of his career, but just injuries and the way the Nats are, it's not really a surprise. But I really, really love what the Braves did at the trade deadline, and locking up Austin Riley for that long and trusting that and understanding that we have our corners locked up for a while. Ronald Acuna Jr. locked up, Ozzie Albies. That's how you build a juggernaut, and I don't think Ian Anderson, if he's a replacement for Ian Anderson. I think he's just a nice add, and if needed, if somebody needs a day off or something unfortunately happens, Jake Odorizzi can be plugged in very, very nicely. And I'm really excited to watch him pitch and see what he can do for the Braves. But you can never have enough pitching, and I think that's what Jake brings us. And I hope that Ian Anderson brings the screw it attitude again and just attacks hitters and lets his defense work like he did against Arizona. Yes, I know Arizona's not the 27 Yankees or even this year's Yankees, but I really like what they did, what he did. And yes, Charlie Morton is starting to look like Charlie Morton. We just cannot score a significant amount of runs when he's in the ball game. I think, let's see, we scored a total of 2 runs in his last 25 innings while he's on the mound, which is really dumb and annoying and weird. But really nice bounce back for Charlie today. and he's becoming ground chuck again and becoming that playoff force that hopefully he can just ride it down the stretch. But having our rotation kind of follow the leader right now, and that's how we've kind of gotten back in this 40 and 15 stretch in the last 55. If my math is correct, that is because there's been a lot more consistency in the rotation, going deeper and not taxing our bullpen too much. And Dylan Lee has been, the blunder, of course, and obviously the biggest blow was the two strike, 2 outs, or 2 strike walk to 1 out walk in the 8th to Rhys Hoskins. He'll be mad about that. But I don't understand the Colin McHugh hate. Look, I know he gave up a wet newspaper single to Alec Boehm, and then got the ground ball by JT Realmuto, but JT Realmuto is an actually fast catcher and nice hustle. Beat out the play. It was a inning double play, then it wasn't for his hustle, and then got behind 2-0 and gave up a 2-run blast on a hanging slider, some mid mixer. But that's the first runs that Colin McHugh has given up in over a month. And people that say that Colin McHugh isn't a late inning guy, I just don't see it. The big blow, obviously, was the Nick Castellanos play, but it's the Dylan Lee walk ahead 2 strikes. You can't do that. But Dylan Lee, for the most part this year, has been fantastic. He was actually, I think somebody described it the best, is he was what we thought Will Smith was going to be, coming in every situation possible. And of course it was mop up early on, but he's gotten bigger and bigger situations. And he did strike out Kyle Schwarber and got Didi Gregorius to ground out to end the 7th. So a couple big outs, just couldn't finish it today, but still really good. And AJ Minter had some really nice bounce back. 3 outs, 9 pitches, 2 strikeouts, almost an immaculate inning. Really, really good there. And you mentioned Tucker Davidson. I'm actually really, really surprised that we only had to give up Tucker Davidson and Raisel Iglesias Tucker Davidson and Jesse Chavez for Raisel Iglesias. I'm really surprised. I guess it's because we took on the rest of his contract, which I believe is 3 years, 48, which is a lot for a reliever, obviously, but has had the most saves since 2021, I believe. Just a little bit high ERA, ballooned in three separate outings for Raisel, but I'm really excited to see how I haven't been really hiding anywhere. I just am kind of superstitious. Since the Braves started playing well, I didn't want to mess up the mojo with the lives and things of that nature. And I've had some wisdom. I had my wisdom teeth pulled out a couple of weeks ago, so I've been dealing with that as well. And we're going on vacation tomorrow, so Braves Anatomy on the road. So I won't be doing lives then, but when I get back, I will do one, I promise. But I just didn't want to mess up the mojo, especially like during the Braves 14-game winning streak and getting us back in the race with this 40 and 15 stretch to get us back in the race. Did I get wiser? Some couple of people have asked me that, and the answer to that question is no. I have not got wiser, but you would think you should after that, but maybe a little bit, who knows, but almost kind of recovered there, so that's good. We are going on vacation to Georgia and Florida to see the fam, so that'll be good, but I promise I will be watching my phone, watching the games on my phone, doing recaps that way. As always, those are always fun. It's a joke, Joseph. It's a joke. But the trade deadline as a whole was very, very bonkers. Juan Soto going to San Diego. I'm just glad he didn't go to the Dodgers, to be honest with you. And I honestly think if Washington seemed very, very motivated to get it done because of the new ownership. And this is, I mean, they did as best as they could do. I feel like, and I know I don't think any package you could have gotten for Juan Soto would live up to. Thank you. We will have fun and stay safe. But I don't think there's a package in this world that could live up to Juan Soto and what he is as a baseball player. But I think that's the best that Washington could do given their circumstances. And Mike Rizzo doesn't pull any punches when he's ready to do something. When he's ready to do something, he'll do it. And I hope that I don't want the Nationals to be good ever, obviously, but the amount of talent that they've traded away and seen walk out the door over the last few years is maddening. And that just makes me appreciate Alex Anthopoulos more, because when we won the World Series last year and we're primed to keep competing for championships year after year after year after year, whereas the Nationals win their championship and then go into the gutter. And I don't think that's supposed to happen. You're supposed to have a winning window 4, 5, 6, 7 years and then go through the rebuild again. But the way Alex Anthopoulos has built and continued to raise our payroll and things of that nature, it's really, really cool to see and very exciting for us. But the San Diego Padres are definitely scary, and right now we would play them in the first wild card, which but I kind of read something today that could ring true. The Angels, they could turn into the next Angels in that you're top heavy with Machado, Tatis, and Juan Soto. And who knows, will Juan Soto sign back with the San Diego Padres after 2024? I have no clue. But if you're top heavy and then you don't have a lot of role players to help supplement your roster and continue things happening, like the under radar moves that we made, Eddie Rosario, Jorge Soler, the Jesse Chavez of the world, the Dylan Lees of the world, I don't know that the Padres necessarily have that. Beyond it, will they get stuck in the top heaviness? Who knows? But that was the biggest trade of the trade deadline, obviously. I think my favorite move, even though it stings for the Orioles, who are a season high 54 and 51, 3 games over 500, and didn't win a 54th game at all last year, so they've been a fantastic story. I think my favorite move, though, was Trey Mancini to the Astros. I just like that move. They needed some extra punch in the outfield, and I think they didn't have to give up a lot, and that was just a very solid move. And I love Trey Mancini. Let's see. Some other moves. I was a little surprised that the Yankees got rid of Jordan Montgomery for Harrison Bader, especially since Harrison Bader has been on the IL with a bad back, and Montgomery's been a very, very solid starter. Yes, the Yankees did add Frankie Montas at the trade deadline, and Garrett Cole got shelled today. But who knows on that one? That one was a little weird. The Josh Hader one, I actually kind of liked it from the Milwaukee perspective until they DFA'd, which means designated for assignment, Dinelson Lamet, one of the flamethrower pitchers they got back in the deal. I don't know what they're doing. I kind of like the package, given that they already have Devin Williams at the back end, and then you had Rogers, who was second to Hader in saves with 28. Yeah, he struggled ERA-wise and record-wise, but 28 saves is 28 saves, and that's kind of a good back end, and I thought they would be nice with Dinelson Lamet because they've been pretty good with pitching, but that was a little odd. Yes, I understand it, and the fact that the Milwaukee Brewers don't look like they're going to sign, didn't look like they were going to sign Josh Hader to a long-term deal, so you want to get something, but if you one of your premier pieces that comes back and then you immediately get rid of them, it's a little very strange in that regard. So that was an okay one, and then definitely Diego, I think, won that one after Dinelson Lamet left, or was let go, rather. Let's see. Obviously, I will be watching as much preseason as I can find on TV when the Panthers play. It's an interesting dynamic. I like that Matt Corral, the youngster out of Ole Miss, is showing out better in camp. Baker Mayfield has had a solid camp so far, and Sam Darnold has been Sam Darnold. So I don't think there's much competition. Even though the talking heads want to say that there's a competition, I don't think there is. What do you guys think about the Phillies adding Noah Syndergaard? I don't think that's as big of an impact as. Yeah, I think Noah Syndergaard's a fireballer, and he might still have some left in the tank with a myriad of injuries. Of course, that was with the Mets, and just the Angels are in a weird spot. Again, the top heavy in injuries, but I just don't think Noah Syndergaard is that guy anymore. He might be a nice piece for them, and I hope he beats the Mets a lot. But yeah, that was an overpay. And I forgot about the Luis Castillo trade. Excuse me. The Luis Castillo trade, I actually thought that the Cincinnati Reds actually won that one. Now, if Seattle is able to sign Luis Castillo to a long-term deal, I think it's a lot better. But giving up 3 of 5 top prospects, and the way they were able to do that, stockpile some really good shortstops in their system now. I think that one really escalated the rebuild, and obviously Luis Castillo is under control for next year, so that's really nice, and it'll be a reset, starting in 0 against the Houston Astros and that juggernaut they built. But I think it was a lot to just go for a wild card for Seattle, but they've also haven't been to the playoffs in 21 years, so you kind of see that one. And Seattle's just it would be fun to see them back in the playoffs, just because, I don't know, they've been really fun and cool to watch. Kind of like the Orioles this year, good story. Hopefully Julio Rodriguez will be back for him. That was an ugly wrist injury. But yeah, I thought the Reds did a nice job stockpiling their farm system with the Tyler Mahle trade to the Twins. I think the Twins had a nice underrated deadline as well, adding the Baltimore closer Jorge Lopez. I'm kind of surprised that the Orioles dealt Lopez, but they still have some nice pieces left. Mullins, adding Brett Phillips is a nice piece he was let go from the Tampa Bay Rays. I like the David Peralta ad for the Tampa Bay Rays as well. They've had so many guys on the injured list. That was nicely done by them. I think the Orioles being half in and half out is kind of the right way to go for them because and I think Trey Mancini might actually go back there in free agency. Who knows? But he was a free agent this upcoming year, and it saved them $3 million. But I also see the anger and sadness of the Orioles fans, given how good this year has gone in comparison, and kind of digging themselves out of the rebuild mode, even though they're kind of still in it. The Red Sox were very confusing, but they're half in, half out, kind of, and won a series against the Houston Astros despite today. Adding Eric Hosmer after Eric Hosmer said no to going to the Nationals, and that is his right to do so. And him going to Boston, they've struggled mightily at first base, so that might help them. And the Padres eating most of that contract. The Red Sox adding Tommy Pham, that's an interesting one, and keeping JD Martinez is also pretty interesting. I thought he would go to the Mets, which I'm glad he didn't, because he's a free agent at the end of the year. And adding Reese McGuire, getting rid of Christian Vasquez. Christian Vasquez was a free agent, so I kind of get that one. Not getting rid of Nathan Eovaldi. I think you're kind of in a struggle when you're half in, half out, but you saw what happened last year with us. If you just get in, I think if you just get in, anything can happen. So good for them. Charlotte FC is up 3-0 over DC. So that is really, really, really good. And we are outperforming expectations. So that's really, really, really good. Yeah, I'm really excited at the Iglesias thing. I think it's gonna be a really nice ad. And yeah, it's been a nice little extra sport to watch. And us outperforming expectations is also nice. I'm really realistically, I think we can take 3 of 5 from the Mets, but if somehow we're able to pull out 4 of 5, that would be super, super nice. But obviously, you want to take it one game at a time. But who knows there? I honestly don't know how Don Mattingly still has a job, but he does, and I guess it's up in the air whether he will be back. I thought they would take a step forward, but they're like 11-1 against the Nationals and whatever that is against everybody else. So that I think they've been one of the weirder disappointments of the season. Just for the NL East wise, because they're pitching. Sandy Alcantara and Pablo Lopez. Taylor Rogers is taking a step back, of course, but I'm just really surprised with that. But I think Don Mattingly might not last, and I don't think that Joe Madden was the problem for the Angels. It's just very, very strange. What do you guys think the issue is for Braves and day games and being able to finish series? I can't figure it out, even though we've faced a lot of really difficult guys on Sundays and series finales. But I think it's just one of those baseball things. But but it's just one of those strange, really weird, annoying things that makes no sense. But yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's so it. Yeah, all the partying. That's so it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure if they could figure it out, they would change whatever they're doing. But yeah, we need to burn some sage for the day game struggles. But it's well, I mean, for a lot of the day games, we've been blown out really quickly. So at least they're not giving us heartbreak. Except today, it was kind of heartbreaky and annoying. And the last one was a 1-0 walk-off because Merrill Kelly was amazing. You know what team I really can't figure out is the Colorado Rockies. Why in the world would you completely, wasting a start like that from Charlie? Yeah, that's super annoying. Super annoying. But again, it was a dumb way to lose. Colin McHugh got the ground ball he needed. JT Realmuto is just the one fast catcher that beats that double play out. No other catcher probably does. And we executed it perfectly. And then meatball slider, or cement mixer slider. So we kind of find dumb ways to lose in day games too. So that's really really frustrating as well. But as long as we keep playing follow the leader, and I mean, I guess Charlie Morton's the run support unluckiness. Like, I don't know if I said this earlier, but I think we scored 22 runs in like 25 innings while he's on the mound or something stupidly ridiculous like that. But for the Rockies, I don't understand. You don't make any moves, and the only move that you make is signing your 37-year-old closer that has a 1.16 ERA this year and been amazing to a 2-year, $19 million extension. And you have Colomé, CJ Cron, those guys like that. You could have gotten a lot. They're just running in place right now. Even maybe Charlie Blackmon. I just never understood. And you got nothing for Trevor Story, basically nothing for Nolan Arenado, except Gatorade and bag of Doritos maybe. And you sign Chris Bryant, who's been on the IL 4 separate times, and you give him. You say Olsen needs to take more pitches sometimes, but sometimes the first pitch is the best pitch you're gonna see, and he just missed it, kind of popped it up. And when he does that a lot. When he's a little off, he pops a lot. And that's what I talked about earlier. You get mad when you don't work the count, but then you get mad when you're not aggressive. So it's a vicious cycle of ugliness watching people hit, because I know it's the hardest thing to do. So yes, even though we get mad and frustrated like fans do, but then I'm like, I couldn't do that either. So and you know they're frustrated that they couldn't come through Dansby with that strikeout before, things of that nature. It's just one of those things, and we haven't really been able to touch Wheeler too much this year, except for the home run ball here or there. But he's just been phenomenal for him. So you kind of got to tip your cap there. The first and second, no outs. In the third, double play by Ronnie, and then the strikeout. That one's kind of annoying, but that's, I would say early to mid-September, more likely for Ozzie. And I think that's, again, why we didn't go after a second baseman at the trade deadline, because, like Alex Anthopoulos said, you don't want to get a everyday guy and then have Ozzie come back and have that guy, the everyday guy, sit on the bench and not be in a role that he's used to. That's why you bring in Edhier Beyonce, who's used to that role of be ready. Don't ever know when you're ready, but be ready. So that's why that was a shrewd, nice move there. And again, I think I said this earlier too, but Strider being a starter for the rest of the year, I think that's amazing as well. And I think him being 1,000% on that and just will stop those questions. Very, very nice to see that way too. I thought we already moved Duval to the 60. Oh, Sandy! Wow, Sandy Alcantara. 3-0 shutout against the Reds in the ninth inning with 96 pitches. My gosh. And I cannot believe St. Louis traded this guy for Marcell Ozuna. That's a regrettable one. That's like the Adam Wainwright for J.D. Drew, even though J.D. Drew was absolutely awesome for us. J.D. Drew was absolutely awesome for us that year, but we just couldn't re-sign him. But Sandy Alcantara, thank God he's not in a Cardinal uniform, so I can kind of like him, because I really enjoy watching him pitch.
It just shows you that it's possible if you pitch to contact. If you try to strike out every hitter, you're going to pitch 5 innings.
Yeah, me too. I do like the 6-man rotation thing, especially the way guys are kind of piggybacking off of each other with the love of like just consistent starts, 6 innings, 5 innings, 6 2/3, 7 innings, things of that nature. And I really like that Snitker has had the propensity this year to like talk to starters and things of that nature if they're later in their games, but letting them try to finish. Next couple of weekends, a couple of doubleheaders, so it's perfect. And again, Jake Odorizzi, we have, I think it's maybe a team option or maybe a player option, but we also have an option for Jake Odorizzi next year, depending on how it goes and whether he likes it here or not. Plus, you don't know if Charlie will retire or not, so that's a nice thing. So that's a nice thing to think about as well. If it's a team option, I think they're always team options with us, so I wouldn't be surprised at that case. But yeah, I really like that. And then when we don't need the 6-man rotation, using him in middle innings if we need a bridge or something, that's really nice. And the options are. Yeah. I thought so. Yeah, we usually don't give the player options. So we're not stuck with a bad contract. I think the only bad-ish contract we have is 104 complete game shut piece for Sandy Alcantara. I think the only bad-ish contract is a Marcell Ozuna contract, and that's just because he's swinging at the invisible baseball and the stuff that's in the off the field stuff. But I do have to give him credit that you really haven't heard anything about that. So just kind of putting his head down and playing baseball, that's nice. And maybe we'll try to figure it out contract-wise next year or next offseason to see. But yeah. Yeah, it is only a 4-year. I don't know if it was true, but we discussed Avisail Garcia for Marcell Ozuna with the Marlins at the deadline, which I would have been so on board for. But Avisail Garcia has been a singles machine this year for whatever reason. Marlins ballpark's got in his head, but that never came to pass. That would have been an interesting one to think about, but yeah, but you're right. It's not 5 to 10 year mega deals and things of that nature. And the value that we keep getting on these long term deals is absolutely phenomenal. With like only averaging, I think Austin's is 22 per year, and Nolan Arenado and is like at 33 per year. So that in itself is absolutely incredible. And I love that Alex Anthopoulos identifies it, and the guys want to be here, and you can see it, and you know it, and I think that. And the funny thing is, you realize that we did have the money, and although I'm sad for Freddie about how it worked out and such, because it's not fair, but yeah, that is wild. Was it what, Charlie? And those were a couple 1-year deals. I would like to see us maybe extend Max this year, maybe, or because I think we have him for next year and that's it. So I think that would be the next pitcher that I would think. Dansby is interesting because I would love it because of his leader defense and his offensive ability consistency this year. But again, you've got Freddie's agent, so I don't know if that plays factor because you know that Alex Anthopoulos doesn't play and doesn't get. Yeah, it really is wild, and hopefully for Mike Soroka, he gets a chance next year to just kind of put something together, get back on the field, and see what he's got. It's just so sad for him because he's so good. who knows about it now, but I really want to see that kid back on the mound. But it is wild, you're right, that we really haven't addressed our pitching from outside for the most part. I think the last pitcher we added outside via trade before. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to make you sad there, but I think Tommy Malone was the last pitcher we added outside of the organization. You know how that went. So hopefully Jake Odorizzi's not that case again, but I just really like what we did at the trade deadline. I guess Robbie Grossman's got a lot to live up to, maybe being the NLCS MVP or the World Series MVP, but like his first at bat, that's for sure. And I'm kind of surprised that the Dodgers didn't. I mean, I know they have like Brusdar Graterol coming back. Oh, Cole Hamels. Yeah, that one didn't work. Hey, but there's no bad 1 year deals. So what, he pitched 3 1/3 for us in a Braves uniform, I think. He pitched 3 1/3 against the Orioles last year and said the next day, I can't go. I don't know how he. Ugh. The guy from the Astros. Guy from the Astros. The one that we just got, Jake Odorizzi. Oh, Dallas Keuchel. That one didn't really work out either because we should have used Max Fried and Mike Soroka in that playoff series, and I think it turns out differently. I think that one turns out differently if we don't use Dallas Keuchel twice. And Dallas Keuchel has fell off the face of the earth, kind of getting DFA'd. Yeah. Yeah, that really hasn't worked out for us. So let's just keep with the homegrown pitching. Let's just keep with that. Unless it's a veteran established like a Justin Verlander or something. By the way, I understand why Alex Anthopoulos was going after Justin Verlander. Holy jeez. But and why he's a master at his craft, Alex Anthopoulos. But yeah, I really like where the Braves sit, and we're 20. Yeah, if we could steal Sandy somehow, but I don't think so. He just signed a 5-year, 56, I believe, with the. We got a while for that yet. So who would be the odd man out when Kirby comes back? Jackson Stevens, or no? I don't think Jackson Stevens has options. I don't think these weird comments. I can't think of. If Jackson Stevens has one option left, I think it would be him. But that's literally like 5 possible closers in your bullpen. Obviously, you're not going to use them all, but I mean, you're going to use them all, but not in closing situations all the time. But that's a heck of a luxury, considering that Kirby Yates is under control for the next couple of years as well. So that's a bullpen to be reckoned with. And yes, I am surprised that the Dodgers didn't do more. And adding Joey Gallo, although I am happy for him to get out of New York, I don't think adding him to the Dodgers really helps that, because the Dodgers have Cody Bellinger, who kind of just is a shell of himself with his swing. So that's a little weird. I do know they have Bruce Gratterall, Walker Buehler, and Dustin May on the way back, but I don't know if you want to have everything hinge on them coming back and being completely themselves injury-wise. Not that I'm complaining about whatever the Dodgers do, because if it makes them lose, I'm all good. Yeah, I'm just happy for Gallo to get out of New York, because I think the fans kind of beat that man mentally to death. So maybe he can just get a fresh start, and maybe some new voices will help him. Yeah, that was kind of a strange one, but good in a way, I guess there. And so we'll see on that front. But I love yeah, it's still annoying. It's still weird, but I think I've gotten used to Matt and his 21 homers, 67 RBIs. Yeah, that'll play. And Matt said he's been off all year, probably because of the pop-ups and things of that nature. But if that's his off, I can't wait to see what his completely locked in is. But I'm really, really excited where we were. Like, we were 20. Yeah. What was I saying? I have no idea. Yeah, I was 3 out of 5 from the Mets. I'd be happy. Any more than that, but you take it one game at a time. Take it one game at a time and see what happens. That's all you can do. But I was saying, from where we were, 23 and 27 to 21 games over 500, I will take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And the different ways we've won ball games as well, that's been nice to see. Yeah, we've let some slip away that are definitely annoying, but not in. But I mean, not in. Baseball is baseball, and that's how things happen, and you know that. So you just kind of gotta and let it go. And I think the Braves have done a fantastic job of that. Just kind of playing the game that it is, and then flushing it, no matter if it's good, bad, or ugly, and kind of just go in the next day and yeah, he has walk problems, and the first couple innings are big for Carrasco. If you get him, you got to get him in the first 2, because you might not get him. Robbie Grossman kind of is the guy that'll maybe give us some more longer at bats, kind of. So that's nice to see as well. And I think that's also why we got Robbie. Along with the platoon and crushing lefties. but I think that good at bats, because strikeouts are going to happen against good pitchers. I just like the type of strikeouts. If there's 7-8 pitches, you fight them off. Those are the competitive strikeouts that I like a lot more than the uncompetitive wild swings, aka Marcell Ozuna type of stuff. But yeah, 3 out of 5 would be really good with the Mets, but you just take it one game at a time. It's really nice to see how everything has kind of developed in our lineup, and if we get Ronald going, geez, do I think Ozuna can turn around? Well, we've seen flashes. If he would be a little more aggressive and stop being passive on those fastballs, I think he's got to be quicker on the inside pitch. Maybe get, I don't know exactly the term, but clear the hips on the inside fastball. A lot like Ronald a bit. Ronald and Ozuna kind of have the same issue right now, just kind of. But Ronald is kind of, he's not staying in when he is getting pushed off the plate. He's jumping out of it a bit, so that's been an issue. But I think Ronald can turn it around and will turn it around because he's still walking. He's still having quality at bats. It's just not what we're used to seeing from Ronald, the homers and the extra base hit palooza and things of that nature. He's still stealing bases. He's still working his walks. It's just been his at bats have been hard to watch because you can see it on his face and you can see he's searching and thinking during your at bats. And when you have to think that much when you're trying to hit a baseball, that is not a good thing. But he's working hard, and he's gonna when he busts out, whenever that is, people are gonna pay, and they're gonna pay big time, kind of like an Austin Riley run, I hope. But anyway, he's still a presence in our lineup, and that's never gonna change. And he made a really nice running jumpy catch at the wall today, so that's a nice thing to see as well. But I think I covered it all. Did I miss anything important? Any other questions? And yes, Ronald might need to go see Chipper Jones. That'd be nice if he did. Maybe that'll help him. I don't know.
Is it as bad as what happened to Caleb Jones?
Let's see. Yeah, our pitching rotation has been really, really solid. We're just gonna have to be opportunistic, especially in this series against the Mets, because I don't think we're gonna get a lot of chances with their pitching staff. The leadoff doubles gotta just have more productive outs. When we make outs, they got to be productive. That's pretty much my key to this series. And again, I will be on vacation. I'll be back 9 days from now, but I will have everything covered. Braves Anatomy on the road is always an adventure, but it's going to be a fun one, and hopefully we're racking up W's in that case. And let's just have fun and make those Mets sweat a little more. And I don't think you want to let Pete Alonso beat you. So he's my circle guy for the series. But I really, really like the options in the bullpen. The rotation depth and performance has been amazing. Just need some more consistent, productive outs. And figure out the day game / series finale issue, or just make it like 500 in series finales and day games, even though we won 17. Getting Nimmo in shorter at bats will be a nice key as well. But I think I covered everything. If I missed anything, I'll cover that in the next live. Hopefully we are atop the division, or at least still behind, nipping at their heels. Give them a good series. Let's just if we pound them, that would be great. But I kind of had a feeling after 13 runs on 14 hits last night and Zach Wheeler, it was going to be a tough day, and the night shift just couldn't hold it. But kind of unlucky. But been a good long live, and really cool to just talk baseball, talk the Braves, and be sitting in a really good position in massive series. Hopefully we can silence the Mets and their bats, and hopefully they won't get dumb infield hits all series long to make me want to pull my hair out. But I will have it covered for you from hotels and beaches and all that, so that should be fun. As always, go Braves, champions forever. And yeah, if we get real crazy, maybe our next trip will come out west. I don't know, but champions forever. And man, it'd be awesome to get it back to back. It would, and we're trying real hard to do that, so I'm really excited about that. And by the way, I am bringing my World Series ring to show off to my Yankee family and my Astro family, so that should be really fun. And I'm really excited to do that because always. But yeah, I don't know if the Giants will actually make it this year. I was kind of surprised they stood pat. A little bit surprised that they stood pat because they're only 3.5 back, I believe. So that's a little interesting. Oh yeah, for sure. Never mind. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'll take back-to-back anyway we get it. Oh, I did forget. The Cubs not trading Wilson Contreras. Very odd, because I don't know that they're going to be able to re-sign him. I really don't. Ian Happ, I can kind of understand because he does have a year left of control. But they did kind of do a nice job with some of the pieces they did sell, so that was kind of in and out deadline for the Cubs. Keeping Wilson Contreras was just really odd given the position they're in, but yeah, that would be hilarious. What is the San Diego Padres score right now?
Every step of the way, you get a little squeeze on your cheek. It just feels like a little massage. Introducing ZenStep from CopperFit, the revolutionary new insoles that massage and soothe your feet with every step. It is like a little massage.
Oh, it hasn't started yet. Okay.
Footbed, designed with stimulating reflexology massage nodes. Keep your feet
well,
with every step.
I think you. The Rockies, yeah. I think you you won a lot for a guy like Contreras, but I think you need to get something for him, especially if you're not going to re-sign him. And now if they re-sign him, maybe, but I don't. The direction of the Cubs is kind of weird. But it is what it is there. But I like the position the Braves are in. Just feel really good about it, and we'll.
I'm 15.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, that would have been good for the Mets. And I'm glad they didn't do it. But I think yeah, it is what it is, and it's kind of weird. It's funny at the deadline you want to be all the way out or all the way in, because being half in and half out is probably the worst thing. And the funny thing is, adding that third wild card definitely did keep some people in that probably wouldn't. And yes, rip Vin Scully. That was a difficult video last night to do. He is the broadcaster, no doubt, and that will be forever the case. And that's the only thing about the Dodgers that I always liked, loved, and appreciated was Vin Scully. So, yes, rest in peace, Vin. Again, it's Braves Anatomy on the road. So I've got to finish an article and then shower real quick. So I will see you guys. On the flip side. I will have everything covered. And I promise when I get back from vacation, I will do an actual game live again. It really helps the watch hours, and it's just really cool. Thanks, everybody, for coming in and hanging out. It's been real fun, and can't wait till next time. But again, as always, go Braves, champions forever.